Hello and welcome to Take Time. I am your host, Patrick Marlette, and let's talk about what's inside this bag. Whew, I gotta tell you guys, it is so difficult not immediately prying into these packages when they arrive. Having to set all of this stuff up and wait is agony, especially because this group, I've been crushing on this group for so long. Oh man, okay, WatchGecko, by the way. In case you couldn't tell from the title of this video, we're looking at a WatchGecko C1 racing chronograph, and this one's got me really excited because it'll look really great on my WatchGecko straps, and I know for a fact that it's gonna be awesome. So WatchGecko has been in the strap and accessory game for a long time now, but their watches are still a relatively new thing, and they keep cranking out more and more awesome designs, and I think this new one is probably one of their best to date. And this particular model, I think, is their sexiest to date. That's right, I said sexy. Because the C1 racing chronograph is such a popular model. They actually came out with two new versions. I have version 4. It is the white and blue dial variant. I really hope it is. But before we move on to the unboxing, I want you guys to know that it is a stainless steel case with a sapphire crystal top. It's got a 22mm lug width, likely with a great WatchGecko strap, a 42mm case, so perfect size for most wrist, and it's all wrapped up neatly in a $420 package, so a great sub $500 chrono for your money. And inside beats a Seiko, that's right, Seiko, you have me at Seiko, VK64 Mecha Quartz movement with a date featured at the 6 o'clock, my favorite position, and I'm very excited to see what this guy looks like. So why don't we go ahead and rip this box up. You guys are getting to see more of my table than I bargained for today. No, normally I would use scissors to rip this sucker open, but you know what? I bet you these hands will do. Oh, they did. Oh, they did. Okay, so inside the bag, we've got a giant box. Now, it is to my understanding that this box is exactly what the consumer packaging is. So this is exactly what you guys should receive for the most part. And this is pretty nice. I'm assuming it's wrapped this way just for durability during its travel. But let's go ahead and open this sucker up. All right, let's see here. I got a gut feeling that if I just pull on this tab, it'll open this thing up. Maybe I just rip? I just rip here. Maybe I just rip here? I don't know. Let's try this. Let's just try brutalizing the box. There's a pull tab. There's a pull tab. All you gotta do is this, guys. When you receive yours, just reach for the pull tab. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Again, I believe this is what you guys should receive, or at least that's what Tim told me over at WatchGecko. And when I opened it, as you guys are seeing, I'm seeing a little black box here with is this a wine key? What is this? This is a WatchGecko wine key. How did you guys know I was an alcoholic? All right, gang, I am generally stoked about receiving a WatchGecko wine key, and this is actually a really nice chassis for one. You guys might not know this, but I do bartend on the side, and I really like a good wine key. So you know what? You guys are going to be rocked at a bunch of different venues, and I'm definitely going to use this at home. That's for sure. Yeah, it's nice. You know, I've got some double hingers, but if this one is a single and it works well, you know, we're going to have a separate video about me opening up wine bottles with this. Maybe we'll do that on the channel. Tell me if you want to see that. We can do that. I can't get over this. I'm going to have to put this off to the side for now, but thank you guys for sending this my way. So for the sake of time, guys, I'm going to pull out the rest of this swag. I got a gut feeling that, you know, not all of these are what you'll be receiving. You might get a wine key with your order, but, you know, not necessarily what's in here. Some of these might be review items for me, but guys, how did you know I like to write? Okay, I'm pretty sure, I am almost positive that under this black wrap here should be what you guys would receive. And this looks like a personal note. Should I open it with you guys? I'm gonna open it off camera and see if it's safe. Yeah, it's safe. I guess I could share it with you guys. Team, thank you so much for the opportunity to review this. You know, I reached out to this group a little while ago. You know, I really like what WatchGecko does, and I've been excited about their watches for some time. And thank you so much for sending this my way. I'm very excited to talk about it on the show. And in case you're wondering, there's a bead of rice bracelet that they also included. I mentioned, I believe on Instagram that, was it Instagram? Maybe it was email, that I was doing a Seiko mod for the show. I actually got a SKX in for you guys. You might have seen it on a previous video, but you know, more on that later. But they're super kind to send me a bracelet to try out on the model. So, you know, I've actually got a few different things coming in for that mod, so we'll check that out later. All right, this for sure is what you guys will receive when you purchase a C1. I was so excited to rip open this package, I forgot to tell you what's up. Now, most of you already know this, but with these two-part reviews, the first part is an unboxing and first impression, as we've been going along with, and the second part, part 2, is an in-depth review, a week in the life with the watch. So go ahead and put any questions or comments or concerns about this particular timepiece in the comment section of this video, and I'll be sure to answer any and all of them in our part 2 review. But without further ado, why don't we check this sucker out? Got a really slick looking Geckota box, and I'm going to try to do this without dropping it. All right, here is one of the models of the C1. I won't bore you guys with the brochure. You can actually look up their models via the description in the link below. So far, really nice presentation, gang. I really, really do love layered packaging. This is really nice presentation. You know, the flip open outer shell of a box that you typically receive with a watch. Nicely packed. I like it, guys. Good stuff. And here we are, the C1. Okay, so before we get to the watch, why don't we talk about this box? Like, you know, I always talk about it on the show, but I love a good theme, and the red with black box just fits that racing aesthetic so well for me. You know, we always think of sports cars as being red. I do love the styling of this box. I like it when the package feels complete in that way. So props on the packaging, guys. Good work. Now, gang, I'm mistaken. Off the top of this video, all of the images I've seen of this watch made the dial look more like a pristine white sunray finish as opposed to silver, but I stand corrected. This is a silver finish on the dial, and I have to say it's beating my expectation. It's really, really gorgeous, and I'm actually quite happy I was mistaken because I love silver dialed watches, and this one is extremely handsome. Now, I know you guys hate it when I leave the plastic on the watch for long, so let me go ahead and take that plastic wrap off for you. So while we're looking at the case back, there's very minimal literature. It just says sapphire, crystal, stainless steel, letting you know everything you need to know about the case. And there is a little back protector on the case back. I'm going to leave that protector on. Generally, when I get a watch new, I like to leave those on. It doesn't hurt having it there. It usually wards against any sort of unnecessary scratches to the case back, so I do dig having that there. And on this watch, we have a very familiar leather strap. I reviewed this strap on the channel before, and I really, really love this strap, so it's great to have a 22mm option here. And of course, why don't we take in that dial? Now, gang, of course, when I do the part 2 review, I'm going to go over all of the specifications, but I would like to state that I believe the VK64 Mecha Quartz movement in here has a 3-year battery life, so that's pretty excellent with the installed battery, so you should be able to use this for years to come should you pick one up. Now, so far as a first impression is concerned, guys, I am loving this case design. I love the execution of this case. They did such a great job. You know, a lot of micro brands, in my opinion, fail on the details, and WatchGecko has not in this instance. I love the mixture of polished edges with brushed interior layers. You can see that there's a nice brushed sunray finish to match the silver of the dial. It sort of continues the effect of the dial onto the body before having a very nice beveled edge that greets the sides of a high polished case. It's just a very, very good look. And while we're looking at the case sides, if you are the type that likes to accessorize your watch, doing so should be easy here because we have a nice holes case. We have holes in the sides of the lugs. And, of course, we have that radial finishing on the back with brushstrokes running vertical along the back end from top to bottom. But why don't we take in the highlight of this watch, which is the dial? Hands down, it's one of the slickest looking chronographs I've seen in a while. And I'm not just saying that. I really love the multiple layers here. It actually kind of reminds me of the subtle layers of the Bulova Moon watch, how it has steps to it. And you can see those subdials have, they're recessed into that silver of the top dial, and they also have a recessed tacky scale that it runs along the outside of the minute tracks around the dial itself. And it's a really, really good look. The handset on this watch reminds me of my 6139 a whole lot. There's these stick-like hands that narrow as they reach the tips where they're pointing towards the hour and minute marks. And, I'm very fond of this particular design aesthetic. It's simple, it's not busy like a cathedral handset would be or a syringe handset. I find those have a lot of style to them and can often detract from the overall appearance of a dial, where something like this, very basic, very simple in design, that those hands, don't busy the dial in any sense because there's a whole lot going on with this dial, as you can see. So the sub-dials have a beautiful sunray finish to match the silver sunray finish of the main dial. The right-hand side indicates a 24-hour track, while the left-hand side records 60 minutes of time. Now, if I'm not mistaken, when the chronograph runs through the entirety of the 60 minutes, it will stop, at which point you can go ahead and just hit the bottom button to reset everything. But while we take in the watch for the remainder of this, why don't I just let this run by so we can watch that 60-minute scale move. So as you can tell, the VK64 comes with a date wheel, which they featured here at the 6 o'clock position. And as you guys know, this is one of my favorite spots for the date to be located. And they've done a great job with the execution. They framed it to match the steel of the batons that run along the main dial, and it just looks really good there. A lot of vintage chronographs will also feature that date window over at the 12 o'clock. I am of the preference of having the double baton up top and that date window at the bottom. It's just a really good look. It provides a nice symmetry to the dial. And overall, again, this is just one of the nicer chronograph layouts I've seen. I am a sucker for square-cased chronographs. One of my favorite chronographs, actually, is the Heuer Silverstone. I would really love one in the future. But this is satiating my need for a square-cased chrono very, very well, just looking at it. And the Silverstone has more rounded edges, obviously, and it also has shrouded lugs, so it's not quite the same as this, but the layout of the dial is much the same. And, this has what I'm really getting at here is it has a vintage chronograph feel to it that's very, very pleasing. Now, I'd like to state while we're admiring the case here that it actually features a screw-down crown with plenty of thread, by the way. This guy secures very, very neatly to the side of the case, and the watch itself actually features a 10 Atmos water-resistant rating, so it'll be good if you take an accidental spill into any body of water. But with that much water resistance, you might even be able to swim with it. Call me mad, but there's plenty of watches that have only 10 Atmos water rating that you can take a dive with. Not that I'm recommending it, but the first watch that comes to mind is actually the Oris 65, and I owned one a little while ago. That thing featured a 100-meter water-resistant rating, so I went swimming with that, and I showered with it, honestly. So, if that can hold up to it, then, well, maybe this can. I'm not bold enough to test it out, but it is nice to know that the water resistance rating is a cut above most of your standard chronographs. Now, before I leave you guys to the comment section of this video to leave any questions, thoughts, or concerns about the Geckota C1 racing chronograph, I'm going to provide you guys with a wrist shot to give you an impression of what it might look like on your wrist. Just so you guys know, for perspective, I have a 7¼ inch wrist, and I have to say, this case suits it extremely well. Their rally straps are amongst some of the best on the market, and I'm actually a huge fan of this particular model, so I'm happy to see it come on the C1. I cannot wait to give you guys my opinions after a week in the life, but until then, again, feel free to ask any questions in the comment section down below. Yeah, so far as a first impression is concerned, I'm quite impressed. I think this is a really excellent model from the brand, and I'm pretty excited for it. So, guys, if you found this video informative or in the least entertaining, feel free to hit that like button. It looks a little something like this. If you have friends, forums, or groups that were interested in picking up a Geckota watch, well, maybe this video is for them. Be it the C1 or any one of their other models, I think this will give them a good impression of the quality of their timepieces. I'm very excited for part 2, honestly. I always love checking out new products from brands, that are less explored. I'm very happy that Geckota keeps expanding their range, and I'm tickled pink over here. I'm very, very happy with this so far. And if you're new to the channel and want to see the part 2 in-depth review as soon as it comes out, feel free to hit that subscribe button. And while you're down there, there is a bell icon that you can hit to be notified precisely when it comes out. Again, my name is Patrick Marlette, and thank you for the time.